fix that. Now let's go see what the gal upstairs said. You're safe enough here now. Slaughter was bad last night. Could have been worse. Alright. And more lore to read because I enjoy the lore of this game. It actually has. I'm actually working on doing a D&D campaign where you play as the Legion. But that is discussions for another time. Only an hour's march south of Frostspire Pass, the lonely ruins of Western Cross have borne witness to some of the darkest hours of Ebb's turbulent history. Originally constructed as an inn by the Imperial trader Fiula Wezrin, sometime in the 7th century, it has served at times as a barracks, a menagerie, a gatehouse, and a royal residence. The sheer volume of bloodshed in its shadow has made it a tormented place, haunted with the memories of the birth of the kingdom. With the arrival of Sek and the Imperial forces from the east, the site was heavily refortified by the 10th Legion, and a gated underground route linked to the recent excavations made from the Glitter Delve mine. During the War of the Legions, Sek briefly occupied the tunnels, using them as to house a corps of guild spider drovers, while the subterranean confinement pens were later torn out by reoccupying Legion forces. A magical homing taint remained in the tunnels, which continues to attract the descendants of Sek-controlled Arakan spiders to this day. Following the completion of this new fortification north of Frostspire in 935, Western Cross was at last deemed unsuitable for continued military use, retiring it with full honors. The fortress was turned over to the royal family of Ebb. It would stand vacant for the next 15 years. In 970, Edvard the Goblin Pretender became the last man to officially occupy Western Cross, refurbishing its crumbling ceilings and chambers at extravagant, wasteful costs. He employed over 40 goblin engineers, working day and night to prevent its imminent collapse. In the end, it would be here, at the first fortress of Ebb, that the 10th Legion would do battle with the traitorous Grand Mage Olvis, and Western Cross would sadly be laid to waste by order of its last and most ambitious architect. Alright. So, you are allowed 5 characters, which is why generally you go with 2 donkeys and 5 PCs. You have 7 slots. And now I've cleared out the scrub. Now she can help out. But the fact that I was able to do that really sells this game to me over the years. It still has a great story. It still has these things that, oh, I actually did that, so they're actually talking to me. Why are you running away? Few pitchforks and array candles aren't reason enough to put all of Stonebridge to the 10 stone. Gresh says say burn. Gresh says smash. If I ever find out who Gresh is, there will be some smashing and burning, alright. Alright, so let's sell these little bits of kit because... She honestly isn't going to have the durability, but we could give her a 2-handed weapon and she would be very, very dangerous. And yes, the shield slot is still used even though they're not doing anything, but yeah.
What can I show you today?
And now we have a little bit of... But not enough for that. Yeah, we're gonna be good here. Oh wait, he doesn't have a bow. That's 60. Yep. No.
Thanks for coming by. Come back again soon.
Oh, thank you, Chefochek, for following. But yeah, we're just gonna keep rolling on by. Alright, time to start the next adventure. If you're headed north, we haven't seen anything, but Krug came through that direction since the last attack. Since the attack last night. If you manage to clear Glitterdale Pass, it's gonna be a lot easier for us to secure the road when the captain gives the word. Yikes. I almost wonder how many just passed through. Alright. Should be a cutscene coming up. Chapter 2, Journey to the Overseer. So we've got 4 quests. We've got deliver Allah's message to Ada and Glaciern. We've got to clear the path for the Stonebridge Militia. We've got to deliver Gjorn's report to Glaciern, and we got to pick up the axe from the Northern Guard Tower. Now, if you were here, you would have seen that this was... Oh wait, this wasn't from the opening cutscene because And since we're not dealing with majors, I'll just drink a potion because we're not dealing with any groups. Yeah, this is about as one of the games from my childhood. This is easily top 10. And the basic plan is on Thursdays or Tuesdays we'll play this or Titan's Quest. Once we get through this, we'll play Dungeon Siege 2. Honestly, I'm not likely to play Dungeon Siege 3 because its transition over to Xbox does not play well on the PC. Just like me trying to play Dark Souls on the PC with my crappy Xbox controller that connects. It will not end well, and we'll all just end up crying. No, I do not want to be the main character to be the donkey. His name is Flare, apparently. Because he said they were jacks, so that means Flare is a boy. Now we're gonna start looking at some numbers, because and the smart donkey stays away. But yes, we're gonna start hitting some numbers now that we've got a decent party. Oh, now I get your name, Chef Kochek. That makes me feel like I'm an idiot. And if you saw my last stream, you would have seen how bad we got messed up windows. Well, that was a short start. Apparently they are a lot messier than I remember. Oh, no, no kill, no kill. Retreat, retreat. Okay, let's grab this and keep moving up. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Not normally this bad at this. Thank goodness a res scroll. swear, normally this is not this bad. Oh man, hope you guys are enjoying me screw her up playing this game. Alrighty, time to start hitting some nastier ones. Oh, hit the damn. I'm not paying attention, obviously. Oh, bad. Oh man, this is gonna tell you how well this is gonna go with later bits. Jeez. Alright, I'm gonna be a little bit cheesy. Everybody has your bow out, and we are just going to fill them full of arrows. 'Cause screw it. Firing line of failure. Alright, let's get back to their actual jobs. Alrighty, yep. Oh, this is gonna end poorly. Retreat, 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 retreat. Nope, not the donkey! Not the donkey! Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god! Will you lot fight? Donkey down, donkey down. I cannot wait to get healing winds. That spell is going to save my ass. And I'm getting a little bit of healing magic because let's put it this way, the donkey has the most health out of all of us. Alright. Can't wait till I slaughter through these Krug like crazy when we hit to Glitterdale. Like I've said before, I've completed this game exactly once, but going through this beginning part has been eras. Like, if I don't know how many of you had this problem as a kid, but as a kid, I got freaked the fuck up. Oh, rip. Yes, this is actually a very efficient route of doing this. Oh wait, you can't actually do that. Because screw you. had that resurrection scroll. Alright, yep. And that makes this world very scary. Alrighty. Alright. Whew. Alrighty. If I remember right, this is the Northern Guard Tower, which means fun times. Okay, you should all be fairly aggressive. I am an idiot and not paying attention, obviously. And we do not have the kit to bring him back, so... Yay. We will have to make a run back to town. Oh, that was some bullshit that I should have expected. Oh, and should every one of your members of your party die, you lose the game. Alright. Now... Okay. Let's get the kit here, because if we can... we can afford resurrection scrolls, which if I remember right are 250. But I'm not making any assumptions here, so we need at least enough to get 500 gold. You are set to healing. Alright. Oh, this is definitely bad. Oh, crap. I have actually had games go worse than this, where in the Crypts once, I ended up being the donkey for a little bit. Okay, so, first, resurrect. This is all going to the donkey, because we can't afford it. Thankfully, the donkey is the fastest in the land. And now we get to watch me run back to town. Not with the loot, bountiful treasure or massive amounts of loot, but because I got us all killed. And the donkey has to go buy things. Because apparently donkeys, people can talk to donkeys enough to sell them resurrection scrolls. Now, actually, if I remember right, I did not make it to just the donkey because the donkeys cannot cast spells. I believe I ran off with just one person. But it's quite interesting, at least in this world, that for... I know we've got no real scale of money, but if a basic set of a basic spell is 10 gold, just a little fireball is 10 gold. Resurrections are... But also you've got a healing potion that, if you spread it out, can heal a base farmer 4 times before he needs to. Oh, I can't actually talk to anyone as the donkey, I forget. But 4 times before it fixes them. 30 gold is... Trying to put this into terms. Into proper terms, gold is 250 for an adventurer who is going through these crypts and crawls and getting a large amount of money is both rather cheap and also extremely expensive. Like Zed is a sorcerer who, if he is the highest level sorcerer at 3rd, and she's one of the better archers at 3rd, he's one of the better fighters at 3rd, and they're all costing about 1,000 gold. To resurrect somebody costs for... I'm almost wondering how much a normal mercenary in our world. I know it can be anywhere from 1,000 to 20,000. It all depends on the skill and what you need them to do. But it's really now the thought of, if even just a moderately skilled combatant is...
How may this servant of a...
Alright. Oh, it's only 60. Wonderful. Because I know I'm gonna get somebody killed at least once. And they do have transmutation. Wonderful. I will put that in my spellbook. Rage. Ow. That is actually a very cool spell, but it requires swapping, and Freak is also very good, but that's for Zed when he's done. That is my combat revive. Now,
the blessings of Azunai the Defender upon you.
No exponential work, but if a level 3 mage who's a decent sorcerer in total, because he had a couple good spells, healing, zap, and I had to give him mage armor, but he also had resurrect. If he was about to hit resurrect, I'm almost wondering, would a couple months, are we talking a year of basic training to reach the level that you can resurrect somebody? That makes armies very, very dangerous, because anyone can pick up these spells. Sure, somebody might be a little bit better than another, but since anybody can pick up these spells, I'm almost wondering how what military combat doctrine, which is actually my area of study for history, military combat society, and how society and military influence each other, basically, is the gist of it. And so, with this level of kind of pervasive potions, healing, resurrection, I'm almost wondering how their combat doctrine is like. Is it strictly defensive? Because what we're facing here are unarmored combatants who use mainly half broken equipment, or what most people would call barbarians. Now, thinking about that, barbarians, what does that mean in total? Does that make... Alright, so does that make you mean you're unable to do stuff? Are you a halfway decent combatant? These guys are tough enough to take, on average, 4 shots from a basic sorcerer. That puts them at a rate of... Even if we're just talking regular combat, that makes dangerous. Siege combat, because they already have explosive powder, is a 3rd level combat spell. That is basically throwing a hand grenade at somebody. And I'm just like, how much... You're throwing hand grenades. You've got people who can leech the life out of somebody, create acid at a whim. You've got people who can create a magical armor around you that makes it very difficult for you to be killed. These are just questions I have because these kind of things literally will change how a world works. Because the armor Zed is putting on my characters is basically the equivalent of putting on steel-toed boots but around your body. And to just throw that out makes things interesting in a lot of different ways. I'm honestly wondering... And this is also me just kind of talking about different things because this is the stuff that interests me a lot. This is the stuff I literally went to college to do after everything went down. But it basically is my biggest idea of why do things go the way they do. Alright, we've got the axe. Boost to melee skill. That'll go to Yorn since we're going to make her our two-handed wielder. Basically barbarian. This watchtower would it be especially difficult to just siege. It's got a well with fish in it. Eesh. Alright. Now we could make the run back, but I think we're gonna continue on towards everything. Alright. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make them come to us. Said get on the damn thing. And honestly, I wish I knew the answers to those questions that I was spouting off. Because that would... Honestly, I'm really thinking about this stuff where resurrection is, even just at the basic level, a thing. Both for combat and regular mages. And, well, nature mages. Why is my character acting like he's an idiot? Who knows? Oh man. Throwing hand grenades apparently is expensive in mana. And I'm sorry if I bore you with my random talk, but hey. Guess that's what you do when you stream, you just randomly talk. And not always have your ass. You have that magical weapon now. Let's make sure nothing else. Alrighty. Oh. I'm literally yeeting a black powder grenade at people that explodes on contact. Gosh, it's a dangerous ass spell if you think about it in any non-fantasy terms. Even if it's rather shitty in terms of power, it's still dangerous as hell. Because if comparison-wise we just look at it, it does 15 damage versus two-thirds of that, and they're at the same skill level. Fire shot, but I understand. I can get why combat magic would obviously do more damage. It's literally termed combat magic. Can't do that. It is stuck. We gotta blow the gate down. All right, stone bridge. Alrighty, fight, 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 fight. Fucker off. I've really got to remember how to actually fight because this is getting slightly annoying. But hey, at least I'm getting points in nature magic. Yeah, we're gonna basically doom Zed to be healer bitch, as my wonderful friends call it. But hey, honestly, somebody's gotta do it, especially with how dangerous these monsters are. And apparently, there's a friend or foe. There's a friend or foe tag on these explosive, magical explosives I'm throwing around. Because, as you can see, they are not injuring allies. Once he hits 4, I'm gonna have him swap over to heal, bitch. Oh, wonderful to see another human again. My troop and I tried to flee from those Krug when they overran Glitterdelve, but with the pass to Stonebridge blocked, our only option was to use the western crossing. What a horrible mistake that was. We made it more than halfway, but those eight-legged horrors started pouring out of their tunnels behind the walls. We all ran as fast as they could, but, oh, their screams were deafening. Why is this happening to me? Why? Alright, let's check how much healing he does. 31 health versus Zed's 43, so not the most horrible idea to do. Scrubs are so bullshit, especially with the fact that they can apparently half kill a human and half their spit. A decently armed militiaman gets a damn near kill, and it takes 4 decent human. Say we're all just militia. If a regular militia that knows how to use healing magic can bring someone back to life, I'm just guessing it's only combat related, not anything like old age or death. And it's got to be limited to humans only, because we saw dead dogs, or who knows what kind of restrictions are on that. Now we're hitting the crypts. The crypts gave me fucking exhausting nightmares as a kid. This place is scary. Alright, we got your axe. We're gonna give it to Bjorn, because... And might as well give this magical thing there. We don't have the bow girl yet, so... We will likely, about halfway through, have to go back for potions. Oh, yep. Wonderful spiders the size of a frickin'... That, I would... Yeah, this is probably as big as a about the size of a Doberman. That's on what my thought process is. Nope, he can't wear it right now. And apparently some of the best gear is in the Crypts of the Dead. Because screw humanity advancing. Okay, I can understand brain-wise why you would put some of your family's heirlooms in there, but apparently this stuff has just been left there. Oh, yeah. And we saw how easily these guys are gonna go down. Oh, great, the spiders are coming. I know it sounds like I'm just kibitzing a lot, but I do love this game, but the crypts just screwed with me so often as a kid. Since I was, what, 10? Kick-ass donkey. Don't think I ever actually got out of these. Nope. I completed the game when I was 13, but now that I'm back... Oh, great. Magical corpse. Run, run, donkey, run. Because apparently skeletons were trying to kill our donkey. And that is 60 gold I do not need to spend. Alright, we will check that one in a moment. Yay, treasure chest. Alrighty. I know it seems like I say already a lot, but apparently I do. That is more knowledge, which I will go through in a bit once we probably go back to sell stuff. I hope you guys are having fun watching me play this stuff. Yay, I hit level 4 combat magic. Now you swap. Why are the Krug here? Even with him healing, he heals. He gets XP a lot slower as when he does healing magic, so this is why I kind of swap them out. Wait, but if he hits 5, he can hit Resurrect for regular. Level 5, 16 damage, 11 damage over time. So, that's what, 16 to 22 damage a second per cast. That's actually almost... Let's swap that out. Mage armor, you're not probably gonna learn. And should we need to, I can just dump a whole bunch of stuff. But we will honestly get more from selling it like regular people than transmuting it. Oh, yeah, we're pulling back. Pull back, pull back. And everybody, meet goddamn Archer Fire, where I learned the damn tactic. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? So, after that stressful minute, sorry for being quiet about that, but yes, I slowly quiet down when I'm stressed. Alright, you, Zed, you, me. Basically, those bows are some of the best early bows you're ever going to get. And can and will end your entire run. Because the people wielding that are bastards. Why am I organizing? Because if you don't, you are going to get messed up and accidentally sell some stupid shit. Or OCD is a thing. And just another on a long list of crap I have to deal with. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do, since we are still out level, especially in these little areas, we've got plenty of health potions to handle stuff. That was new armor, wasn't it? Studded, yep. Alright, if I remember this next area, we are gonna have some fun. No more beast yet. There's more babies. Back up, back up, back up, so we don't get our people killed. I didn't know we were in Australia. I thought we were in a fantasy realm because apparently we are dealing with spiders the size of my damn foot. And I did not sign up for bird eaters. Gotta love the vision controls in this game. They aren't that bad, it's just I'm on a weird spot since I'm supposed to be focusing on my main character. Okay, Zed I think has the torn leather, which let's give him that studded. Just gonna keep going. So now that I'm thinking about it, standard military formation, even just for a basic squad, this is me, honestly, what I would do. I would make it 2 combat mages, 1 nature mage. For melee combatants, 2 ranged. But that's since you've got apparently magical weapons that can make certain your aim is almost always on target, which you see with our short bows. They only miss if... Look at that. Even just that close, half the time I know, unless you're trained with it, you're going to be able to make it. So it's like, the real question is, you've got this level of skill, you could probably deal with things in squads like we deal with in these adventuring groups, but the real question is, I don't think that would hold up because in at least military combat situations. But I'm also just talking out my rear, probably, even though I studied this stuff, I've never dealt with combat. Even then it's just simulations and shit. Gosh. Spider the size of at least a golden retriever. Yikes. And they're at least they're not venomous. That's all I have to say about that. At least they're not venomous. It's a wonderful idea. Let's just make them venomous. Let's go full Overlord. Alrighty. Let's check Yorn, see where he's at. Okay. We're doing just fine. Doing just fine. Which is actually kind of funny in this game that Rangers become the tankiest characters because they have dexterity. And there's the arrangements. Sorry, the mucosas. The things I despise the most, and this is a room I get killed in a lot, so we're pulling back a little bit. Pull back, pull back, pull back. Donkey, come on, let's go. Wait, you're not a part of the group anymore because stupid shit. Breeze in the doorway because I'm trying to slow him up. Even though I know it probably won't do much. Dark magic much? Yay, now we just gotta make sure Zed doesn't get kidnapped and killed again. Glad you guys are. I hope you guys are having fun. I'm glad you guys are here watching. We'll probably end this portion in about a half hour. Then we're gonna basically, I'm gonna take a small break for some food, and then we're gonna be playing a Steel Legion operation run by Barbarian. Oops, I messed up there because I forgot this is using display capture. Alright, so basically what we're gonna be doing is that. And how many of these people do you think are those troops from that caravan that one guy who was talking about the screams? Who knows? Probably most of them. You need that, you need that, you don't need that. You need that, you need that, you need that. Alright, we're gonna go with explosive powder because... well... alright, you don't know how to resurrect yet, so you're keeping that there. Alright. A little bit of inventory management never hurt anybody. Definitely gonna need to get a higher level spell than Zap for Zed. Actually, let's get back up here. Player, you are an idiot donkey. So, what I'm honestly thinking about doing is not getting the second donkey. What I'm thinking about doing is swapping her into a ranged position because she honestly doesn't have the health for what she's doing. Well, she's gained the health that she's needed. I'm honestly just wondering what I should do here. Alright, so let's think about this. Ambush time. Zed could have honestly used that XP, but whatever. Just keep moving on. But I'm thinking I will pick up Rolf and then... and then... restart what's coming. Because we've got a good set of kit here. We've got enough to probably sell to hire both of them while still having a little bit, but I honestly think I'm going to go till we hit Donkey Max and Human Max, then return. Tell him we've got his axe. Yikes. Goblin engineers must be very, very capable because this is an insane amount of stone and work to make certain this stuff is working for me now. No. We never meet any goblin engineers from what I remember, but this is also relying on my memory, which is trash at the best of points. Pull back, everybody, pull back. What are you doing, donkey? Oh, shit. We've got a skull. Run, donkey, run! Alright, well, I saw we had a bunch of people here. Thank you for earlier. I will definitely make sure that we keep doing this, because it seems I'm getting some people who are enjoying this. And the mages are completely underusing their health potions, because mages are supposed to be in the rear. I'm wondering where you would... I remember there is a maximum, I think it's 99 for everything. But where would you put that with a human? Just throwing out earlier ideas about combat and just... If you could consider a basic guard, or even just a militia guy, or a competent at level 5, where we're at right now with our combat magic. That's... level 5 combat magic puts you dangerously... Can revive people, create your own gargoyles, continue on. I guess we're gonna have to make a small pause here while I go let out some dogs. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, it seems this world runs on the time and practice method, where anyone can become anything if they spend enough time and enough practice. What kind of bow is that? Oh, junk. Alright. Yep, of course the dogs are barking like mad, and Zed is dead. Oops, quick save, almost activated. Right. You're on healing duty, while these two handle. Combat mages are the deeps. Alright, I'm gonna bring Zed back. Alright. Alright. Well, that Zed is back. And nearing the end of all this stuff. Should I start getting popular enough, I probably will make a Discord, thinking about setting up a Twitter, but at the moment, don't have enough movement just yet, but if I do set up a Twitter, you guys will be the first to know because I'll have it up and open. Oh lord, I hear screams. But I will set it up so you guys know if there's any major modifications to the schedule, or should things break or I be unable to stream for any reason whatsoever. I'll let y'all know that way, and basically make certain, since you guys are giving me your time and just your time even to watch this, yeah. I will make any announcements regarding streaming or anything else on there. Alright, let's see what we find in the bookcases, because sometimes you can find... That's a history, which is more lore for me to read, yay. Alright. There we go for some history. Now we can see a set of baddies right up ahead. Let's go make their day. And I will make certain to read all this lore once we get there. Hope y'all don't mind the dogs barking out in the back there. It's nowhere to where. When you've got a German Shepherd and a Belgian Tervuren, they are never going to stop barking. And then you add in the Beagle. Surprised I stay sane some days. Well as sane as I am, honestly. And before anyone asks, no, I'm not making jokes. It's really actually some stuff. But I play these to ignore my brain goblins, not to bring them up in a public place. Just kill some spiders and skellies. Oh lord, they're overrunning us. Pull back, pull back, pull back. Oh. The mage is down, the mage is down. Nope. Glad Zen didn't die because he's our actual reser. Alright, you. Bring back the dead donkey. Oh, I guess even they could have brought the dog back. I guess nobody just did. Unless resurrection. No, resurrection, the scroll is just fine. So maybe they just didn't have the money to bring him back. Maybe I'm just putting too much thought into this, but that's kind of what I do. Alright. Yay, boosted armor and weapons. Nice, nice. Range damage reduced by 5. Really nice choppy axe and boosted melee skill. Alrighty, so apparently this inventory is full, but we're gonna try and stuff it a little bit more. Or we could honestly just make our way back, but we haven't hit that point yet. I want to try and make our halfway point, which if I remember everything right, let's get through this last little chamber. Doom. But yeah, these questions just, if these systems exist in a world, what is that world like? And obviously an empire literally disintegrated, probably Roman style, since it's legion. We were talking about legions in a lot of the lore here, so. So, 10th Legion. Let's say it was standard legionary numbers. That's 1,000. There was, and apparently from what, if I remember from the lore we'll deal with later, there were mage corps. There was at least 100 mages attached to the legion. So, and since this world works on training, that just makes things even more interesting, at least in my perspective, in how dangerous this Empire of the Stars was, and the fact that it took them blowing up from the center to go down. We are now going to make our way back, sell some junk, get a couple more people, because we could honestly use another front row fighter. But we could also definitely use a mage. An archer worth their salt. Hope you all enjoy my inane blathering. Yeah, we're gonna return, make the run back, and I think by the time we've made the run back and back into where we've made it to the crypts, we will probably be, at least for me, needing to take a food, drink break, and before the armor op. And I really do hope the stream doesn't break for the armor op. But already we can see that the people, the adventurers in my party are getting more and more dangerous as they fight and win. World War training and hard work, practice and hard work win. Sure, Zed was naturally talented, or at least that's what he's yammering about. That doesn't mean he got his ass kicked a lot by the Krog. Guess the world's what you make it, at least in the questions I've gotten. We definitely need some more health potions before we push on. Now the real question is, do we want to grab the fighter first or the archer? I'm thinking I'm going to get the archer. And honestly, when you look at it, for a game made in 2002, this is not horrible. It is not at all.
The gods' fire.
Alright. We'll go over those in a sec.
The blessings of Azuna. How may this serve? Zed is going to need something heavier than Zap.
we're gonna go with that. And it's 11 to 13. All right.
The blessings of Azunai the Defender upon you. Travel safely.
He's a couple level ups away from that, so
How may this servant...
apparently... I already, now, get his version of Revive. That basically wiped out what I had in reserve. And I am definitely not getting Soul Lance no matter how much I want it. So what we're gonna do is handle that. Alright. We're gonna get
Sorry
her.
for looking such a mess. I took an arrow and Naidi the archer is at your service. You just tell me where we're going, and I'll do everything I can to get us there.
Okay, alrighty, we just need to get her a spellbook with
How
basics
may this...
and some potions.
The blessings of Azunai the Defender upon you. Travel safely.
Alright. Did Gareth not put his up? Yep, there we go. Alright, so we're gonna go to the other shop, make certain he doesn't need... Oh yeah, we need to talk to him about that axe. Yep, alright, so he doesn't need his axe back, that's fine. What I really want to get is Zed those gloves.
Welcome to the Black Hammer Forge.
Yep, those gloves are gone. Damn. Well, shit. I'll live. Alright, so what we're just getting together. You'll be taking this bow off her hands. And a good longbow is 345. Good mace, a good staff, that's 50.
Thanks for coming by.
But yeah, I
Come
can
back
see
again soon. What can I
that
show you?
even resurrection is rather cheap if you think about it. But I'm guessing there's caveats like everything. Wait. Ah, can't use it. 13. Alright, we are gonna get that since she really needs the armor. Yes, armored, the shield's still at even when you're... Alrighty. So, weapons, armor. Get you a good hat. Pair of gloves. Pair of gloves.
Thanks for coming by. What can I show you?
Good pair of strong gloves. Whoops. Frag it. Ooh, no, those are nice, but we don't have the money. Alright. We do have money for a second donkey, though, if I just need to think about it, though. Alright. Now we're going to end this bit with me reading off the last of that bit, lore. Swords to Plowshares. By 844, Chris Noani had been the guiding light of his beloved 10th for over 20 years. Under his direction, the Legion had become one of the most versatile military units ever known, weathering the hardships of the pacification of the Zikanza and the War of Legions with minimal casualties. But with all but a few of the Legion's most notorious enemies vanquished, the 10th faced a crisis of identity. The empire they were sworn to serve was gone, and the brawling in the ranks was becoming endemic. Under all stars, there is nothing more wretched than a soldier without an enemy to fight. A frustrated 52-year-old Noani wrote in the annuals, "I've enough of blood that a hectic acre of soil, a spade, and a mule will content me until my end, if it must. But what am I to do with these youths with fire?" On the first day of the new year, addressing a freezing, apprehensive assembly of his men, Carisi Noani declared that the 10th Legion as they knew it would no longer survive. Food supplies were dwindling, and a shortage of farmers, and a overabundance of legionnaires primarily at fault. If they were to capitalize on their good fortune, that would mean dismantling everything they ever known about constructing a new kingdom to withstand the ravages of time. Immediately, there were calls for Noani to assume the newly proposed throne of Ebb, but he graciously declined, saying that the new kingdom of Ebb would still need an army, and it was his intention to lead it through the difficult times ahead. Refugees from other parts of the empire were already presenting themselves, seeking shelter from the chaos on the Plain of Tears. Behind him, he suspected, would come soon visitors of a less benevolent nature, as words of Ebb's singular good fortunes leaked out. Biography of Ibn Yamas. Ibn Yamas has the distinction of being declared dead more often than any other soldier in the history of the 10th Legion. He was said to be beaten by goblin raiders at the Frostpire Pass in 965, only to turn the battle into a bloody rout of the goblin forces 3 days later. In 987, he was said to have died in a snowstorm while retrieving his beloved mule, Carprine, only to turn up a week later, hungry and irritated by a hole in his boot. For his allies, the stories of his death are a source of frequent amusement. To his enemies, a wishful dream. He was said to have been that death will only take him when he has gotten too bored or too tired of living. And even then, the Reaper had better bring heavy reinforcements. Born in the Aegilian Peaks in 944, he was raised by a former cook of the 10th Legion. Ibsen headed west for the Kingdom of Ebb as a courier for the Azanite Synod at the age of 16 in 961. He arrived at Castle Ebb and presented a recommendation that he be assigned to his mother's post, but his cooking was found inferior to his soldiering, and he found himself shortly thereafter in the command of his platoon, and not much later his company. Assigned to maintain order along Fedweir's Way during the affair of the Goblin Pretender, Ibsen met a band of goblin soldiers besieging the Iron Tower of Glacier and beat them back, sending all but a few of his men on to help in the defense of the mines. Days later, he defeated two full platoons attempting to press past Glacier into the Eastern Kingdom, effectively holding the goblin threat at bay until they last retreated. Formally resigning from the military service in 994, he became overseer of the Western Realm, supervising the fortification and security of Glacier, while also becoming the manager of the kingdom's mine. Although retired, he is one of the most respected strategists of the Old Legion, and is frequently consulted as the unofficial ruler in everything below Glacier. Final book. The History of the Droog. Late in the 6th century, an imperial trading company seeking an alternative beyond the Green Range was started to discover a large thriving community living in the Cliffs of Fire. The exceptional weapons and jewelry possessed by these simple cliff dwellers defied explanation, but the self-sufficient Droog could see no reason why they would exchange any of their valuables for the unappealing trinkets the imperial traders had to offer. Over the next several years, trading companies tried and failed to interest the Droog, until one company presented a single gaudy bolt of fabric brought from the imperial capital amongst their wares. The Droog were instantly spellbound by the intricate patterns, and were happily exchanged several of their finest weapons to the dumbstruck traders. With visions of gold in their eyes, the small cavern hastily returned to the imperial capital and secretly prepared wagon loads of the material for trading with the Droog. Unfortunately for them, between the capital and the Droog lay a treacherous 730-league trade route, which was frequently plagued by goblin raids. As luck would have it, the caravan was captured, and the goblins learned of the Droog's interest in the material from their captives. The goblins had given up trying to trade with the Droogs centuries earlier, and several industrious goblins realized the value of their plunder. Over the course of 6 months, this small goblin band quietly circumvented the Legion patrols with the bolts of cloth in tow, to arrive at the Cliffs of Fire only to find they had been upstaged by a freelance trader named Eaton Stonebridge. The Droog still saw the value of the goblin caravan cargo, but due to Eaton's previous dealings, were unwilling to part with their more valuables in items in exchange. The goblins were forced to retreat with a paltry quantity of baskets, unfinished beads, and some discarded imperial mining equipment in exchange for their once valuable bounty. The goblins have never forgot Eaton Stonebridge, and many years later would return to exact their revenge. Alright guys, so I'm taking a small break for food and drink, and then we will be doing Arma. Thank you very much. This is me saving our progress so far, and we will continue with this on most likely Tuesday, but maybe tomorrow, depending on how things go. Alright, I'm going to set up some music and I'll be back.
and I could be what you wanna be. And I can feel, but you laugh at me. Take me to a place I'm calling for. Open up the doors I'm knocking on. No, I'm losing control. Be the one to leave my fantasy. Show you crave your hands all over me. No, I'll never let go. 'Cause now I'm falling for love. Drowning in silence, there's nothing left for you and me.
So there has been a change of plans as family things have come up, and I will be ending the stream here tonight as it is family game night. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you very much.